Welcome to Homefront Sit Rep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find Homefront Sit Rep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Homefront Sit Rep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. What's going on, everybody? It's a Monday edition of Homefront Sit Rep. How is everybody? James, how are you?
I am marvelous.
Marvelous. Well, tonight we got a special edition of Homefront Sit Rep Live. We got a couple cool cats coming on tonight. We got Tim Sanders from Metro United Way. He's the labor liaison. He's also a UAW 862 union member. So we're going to bring Tim Sanders up on the stage. Welcome, Mr. Tim Sanders. How are you, sir?
Good, gentlemen. How are y'all doing this evening?
All right, sir.
Doing wonderful. So, Tim, you got some events coming up here soon that you've been doing for a really long time. But before we get into that, introduce yourself to our listeners and watchers out there, if you don't mind.
Well, first and foremost, thank both of you gentlemen for your service and thank for the opportunity to join you this evening.
Thank you.
I'm a proud member of UAW Local 862, 24 years, formerly vice president of my local union, Local 862. I am most proud of being from a military family. My grandfather was a World War II veteran, my father a Korean War veteran, and my mother has served the VFW Post 6182 Iroquois Post for 45 years. She's past state president of Ladies Auxiliary. It's her life's work, and my entire family were very proud of the fact that my father and grandfather being passed on. Mother has carried on their legacy, honoring and serving veterans every opportunity she can. So my role responsibility, I'm a loan executive from Ford Motor Company to Metro United Way. Labor liaison, my role responsibility is I interface with labor unions and companies and bring them together, do initiatives for the betterment of our community. So basically working together, bringing people together to try to help the underserved aspect of our community.
That's awesome. Thank you for what you do.
When I put it out there earlier, I just put a snippet of what Tim does. This guy wears numerous hats. I mean, he's all over the place. And I've known Tim for quite some time now, at least maybe 10 years, close to 10 years. I guess I've been in AT&T for 10 years. So I think it was a little after, it might be about 9. But Tim and I, we kind of hit off pretty good right from the get-go once we got to know each other. And he does a lot for veterans within the community. I mean, with the Bikes or Bust, the Boxes of Love, and everything else that he does. So you got some events coming up, Tim, and the first one is the Bikes or Bust, right?
Well, actually, we do about 9 a year, but the two, I guess we'd say the premier events is Bikes or Bust, Box of Love. And Bikes or Bust would not happen without not only just the the labor unions, the business partners, but the volunteers behind the scenes and the collaboration of an outstanding human being like Cletis Evans, a coordinator for Toys for Tots, because this is the 8th year. If I may go ahead and tell you how it all evolved.
Yeah, go ahead.
With Q103 8 years ago, I was vice president of UAW Local 862. President Todd Dunn said, hey, we were at truck plant. He said, ride by, I believe it was called Buffalo Wild Wings out there in Westport Road. He said, ride by if you would. He said, for 2 days, I've noticed they've got like 50 bikes out here and there's something going on. Let's check it out. So we go by to check it out. And obviously Todd, being a military person himself, served in Iraq, Todd stops and meets Cletis, and then the conversation goes from there with Q103. We've now got 75 bikes in a couple of days out here. So we put to task our membership to buy 200 bikes because we wanted them to, their work to be worthwhile out there. So we end up helping them land, I think about 450 bikes that year. And then again, Todd Dunn, I would say all things are possible with UAW President Todd Dunn. All things are possible with him. So we invited Cletis and the team to use our space at UAW Hall 862 on Fern Valley Road. And what had happened was I had been volunteering, doing other things. Formerly, I was one member of our chaplaincy committee, but we always say at UAW, once you're a chaplain, you're always a chaplain. But there's just always an opportunity to serve in some aspect in our community. But this is our 8th year now. So I believe it's over 14,000 bikes. So that's 14,000 children that may or may not have had anything for Christmas. That we had the privilege and honor of being a part of doing that. So one of the things is, like, right now, I'm just really grateful that as a trade unionist, that America's woke up and saw that the value of the middle class and trade unionists working in America. And we know even through the strike that the communities and people are on our side. But this initiative, this event was going to happen regardless if we were still on strike. And one of the things that occurred was the morning of the strike. I spoke to President Dunn at about 7 a.m. and I said, hey, I know we've talked about it several times and I don't want to keep bugging you, but we've got the location down, we've got all logistics coming. We're buying $30,000 worth of bikes. We started out with $30,000 worth of bikes, which equates to about 420 to 450 bikes, depending on the sizing. And then our partners, Academy Sports, bring them, we build them. But I said, Todd, you never know. They could call us any day to go on strike.
Right.
Well, lo and behold, at 5:30 that evening, he called me and said, you're not going to believe us, but you were right. We're going in 10 minutes. So that's all over and everything. But I'm very proud of our community and our state that people stood by, labor, trade unionists came by, and we were on the picket lines and brought them food and everything. We always use that phrase, iron sharpens iron. But people just giving back to one another. But at the end of the day, we're just passing our blessings on to each other. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So I've been involved with the Bikes or Bust the last few years, and it just grows every year. Like the people, the community that's rallying around, with Q103 and with everybody. Tim Horan says Tim does great work.
I paid him to say that.
But you paid Tim to say that? I hear you, man. I hear you.
I tell you what, like his union, you're a member of a union member. But does your listeners know you're a union member, trade unionist? I don't know.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time that I run the CWA Veterans Committee, our local 3310, and I'm also on the district veteran committee as well for CWA. So yeah, I do talk about it. And
3310, I want to say this to your listeners. CWA 3310 really steps up and steps out, and Carolyn Kane is a rock star in my eyes. She will volunteer all day Saturday and Sunday. A lot of people think the trade unionists, when they volunteer in the evenings or weekends, everybody's getting paid. No, it's just
all volunteer. Yeah.
It's all volunteer giving back. But I thank Tim Horn for his kind words. him and the rest of the team and your team, all of you that, and we, not to fast forward to boxes of love, but we can always count on you all to help build the boxes and get us going on something like that. I just hope that if nothing else tonight, that this inspires and encourages others to go out and help someone in need. The holidays are coming, and it's like some of the meanest people in the world have a little soft spot in their heart during the holidays. I think we've all seen that. But I just wish it would be 365 days, not one day a year.
No, I agree with you. And for veterans, I know a lot of times this time of year, Thanksgiving, Christmas is always rough on veterans. The holiday seasons in general, but Christmas and Thanksgiving is usually the roughest. And when you do your boxes of love, last year it was 2,500 boxes, if I remember correctly, or it might have been a little bit more.
Well, 1,600. But on Bikes or Bust, if I may, on Bikes or Bust, we partner with Active Heroes Veterans Organization. And when I say we partner with them, is we have our own Veterans Committee ran by Eric Foster, which you know very well, good friend of yours. UAW, Eric Foster does a wonderful job for us. And we raise revenue, and then we look for sponsees. So our sponsees would be Active Heroes. And what we do, like last year with them, was they said that they say, here's bikes, here's boxes. How can we help veterans with these? So they recognize veterans that are in the healing place. Something, gentlemen, I never thought of. That I never thought forward. I had no forward thinking about. They're in there, and you've got veterans that are adults. I'm a huge advocate of helping support people in sobriety. Very proud to say my brother that's 1 year younger than me is 14 years in AA, and I've got a niece that's 8 years in it, and I'm very proud of them for their work because they help others. But in the healing place, you've got veterans that they need access to go out and get a job and do things. They're not, even in bikes. Cletis is so kind enough to say this: don't get all them little bikes. Ask people to bring big bikes, and sometimes the bikes are 24 inches and above, and they do not. I don't know about you guys, but I've made plenty of mistakes in life, and everybody deserves a second chance.
Oh yeah.
I believe God can restore anyone and everyone, and those people deserve a second chance. So I'm very grateful that was lifted up by the Active Heroes to us. Not only that they need those, but not just that, but the boxes of love. So the boxes of love, basically you feed. This year we're going to do 1,500 boxes. We are going to change that up. It's December 22nd. Change up the food portion of it. You're probably not going to believe this, gentlemen, but it's usually about 20,000 for the turkeys. This year it was going to be 50,000.
Whoa.
We raise a lot of money, but we don't have that money. So we were able to was able to get us a really good deal for half that. We're doing hams this year, Okay. Ham. So tell Tim Horn the boxes will be a little bit lighter. Okay. So
he's still listening.
Come on, strong man, help us out with these boxes. But last year, if I can touch on that briefly, last year was the biggest challenge we've ever had. It's our 13th year. And I want to go back from the beginning. 13 years ago, I wasn't vice president of UAW at that time, but I was a member of our executive board. And President Dunn had this crazy idea. He got it from Michigan, from some other military people doing it, union military people. And he started with 50 boxes of love and going out trying to help not only military veterans, but other families in need. And his F-150, we always joke, Todd had his F-150 and 50 boxes. So then it just evolved to what it is today, where we have over 30 labor unions and 15 business partners. So we have fed over the 13 years. We're pushing, this year should push us close to 70,000 meals, 70,000 people we've fed of those 13 years for the holidays.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And your boxes, a lot of people don't understand. The first 500, if I remember correctly, the first 500 go to veteran families in need.
Yes, sir. We do 100. First 100, it's a priority for us. 100 goes to Kentucky National Guard, 100 Indiana National Guard, and then 150 to Fort Knox. That's our nearest base that we know. And we also know that they have families, and there's a need. Not that our government isn't taking care of them, but our government can always do more. That's just my view. Coming from a military family, our government can always do more. I'll echo that myself, repeat that. But it means a lot to them and their families to be able to have that meal as they may or may not, have their immediate family with them. And then you've got other veterans groups and organizations that we, like I said, active heroes that we support. So the first 500 of 1,500 will always go to, that's the perimeters of the way we set it up. I guess
Right.
you'd say the guidelines. It's a great point for bringing that up. Thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome. Yeah. Go ahead, James.
I'm sorry. Well, I was just going to say, first of all, I'd never heard of this until today. I haven't been back home in Kentucky for a while.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you. And over the last 6 or 7 months, I'm getting my hands more and more involved into the veteran organizations. But so I commend you, and I thank you, and all of your people that help and volunteer for that. One thing I want to touch on is what you said a while ago about people falling. And when I go out and I do my talks, I bring that up because we all fall. What matters, or the difference is we fall differently. But what defines the person is how they stand up. And that's sometimes they need that extra shoulder, an extra back with an extra hand to help them stand back up. And we stand up correctly this time.
That's well
said. So it's very, very important that folks, nowadays they're so quick to pass judgment.
Yeah.
And we need to stop doing that as a community. I had a debated heat with a gentleman in the community just yesterday, and I said, hold it. What have you done to help support your community? Can you be considered a pillar of your community? And he just looked at me. I said, that's what I thought. And if you can't, then you shouldn't be passing judgment on other folks, because that other folk could have used your help at some point to help him stand back up, and he wouldn't be in the shape he's in today.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Great point. My family's from a place called Horse Cave, Kentucky, Hart County.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I learned as a small child, my grandmother had a statement that a saying I'd never forgotten. And I'm sure both you gentlemen have heard it. She always would say, Mama would say that people will never be as impressed by how much you know as they will when they find out how much you care.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And again, don't get me wrong. I've been able to work with people that, like UAW President Todd Dunn, Toys for Tots coordinator Cletis Evans, and the caring never stops.
Yeah.
And giving of yourself, it's just again, the holidays, these Christmas gifts and holiday meals and everything's wonderful, but I'm just looking for more love shown year round. We picked up we actually do about 9 initiatives a year. And sometimes things are happening in your community, David, that James, that you've never heard of, you're not aware of. You may drive right around it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a initiative that we got involved with this year, and it's building beds. Build a bed. Imagine that. We've done 3 build a beds this year. One over in Southern Indiana, which was fantastic. Went really well with Metro United Way. We partner with them over there. Our second one was with JCPS, Jefferson County Public Schools, and that was in the spring. The first one's in the winter. The second one's in the spring. I'm looking for my calendar here. And the third one we did with Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Have either of you gentlemen heard Sleep in Heavenly Peace?
No,
sir.
No,
Well,
sir.
I would love to tell you about it.
Okay, definitely. Do it. Let's do it.
State Representative Larry Clark. Are you familiar with him?
I have heard the name. Yep.
Larry Clark is retired state representative, pro temp for Kentucky.
Okay.
He was highest Democratic leader in the state of Kentucky for, I believe, 20 years. He retired about 6 years ago. Yes. But anyway, he contacted me, and his best friend runs this Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And what Sleep in Heavenly Peace is, they build. It's a group of, for the most part, it's union tradesmen and ladies that are retirees. They build
Okay.
beds for children that do not have beds.
Oh,
Sleep
that's
and Healthy
awesome.
Kids is a national program. It's in West Louisville. They've got a little warehouse they use at Catholic Charities down in West Louisville. So we were able to raise money, about 10,000, and we went down there in August. If you looked on my Facebook page, you'd see some of the information on it. But we're able to build 50 beds. So 90% of those beds go to the West Louisville area. And the reason being, they have over 700 applications for children that do not have a bed right here in our community. Homelessness, food insecurity, are always things that. Great picture there. Yes, look at this. Bed. Hey, I like that. You've already pulled it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But this is a new project, and it's a kind of we've actually learned that there's some veterans that were involved in this program from the aspect of they'll volunteer when they can, but they have children, and that their children or grandchildren didn't have beds, and so they'll apply. So having over 700 applications for right here in our own community, that's wonderful. You're pulling those photos up. That is fantastic.
Yeah. So that's a good thing about this is that, like you said the name. I Googled it and I brought it up here on the screen for you.
Yes.
Just makes it a little easier.
Much, much easier.
Let's go to the team about the. Let's see. Meet the.
Yeah, let's look at the local ones if we can. There you go. Yeah.
This should be the Louisville one here.
I don't think that's the Louisville chapter yet. Let's see.
Find my chapter. Let's see. Kentucky. Let's see. Derby City. That would. Or you want Louisville West?
Louisville West, please.
All right. There we go. Let's see. I wonder if it'd bring up the board.
That's it right there. Can you scroll back, please? Yes. Well, it's right there.
Here.
They've got a snippet of a video, I guess. I don't know if you want to do that.
Well, here, let's play it.
I haven't seen it, so.
Can y'all?
Tom Reckenwald is the
What's that?
Tom Reckenwald leads this program here locally.
Okay.
As you can see on the video there, that they'll bring youth in, they'll bring organizations in to come help them build the beds right there in their Catholic Charities warehouse. And then they put pop-up tents up outside because they can only have about 30 volunteers in the building that they have right there. But it's just a wonderful organization, something, again, that we've been able to just basic needs. I mean, what's more basic need than a bed for a child? It's led by Tom Reckenwald leads it. He's retired school teacher, proud union school teacher, and his son, and Tom wasn't able to join us this year. He fell ill. He's back and fully recovered. I saw him actually just a couple of days ago at lunch. But his son Jack helped lead us this year, and there was a lot of media exposure. We did it the first Saturday in August, I believe it was, which was a hot day. Just a new. We've been talking about bikes or bus, a box of love, 8 years on one and 13 years on the other. But this journey here, as a member of the team at Metro United Way, I couldn't be prouder to have our team show up, and then all the trade unions, our carpenters did, and everyone showed up. And again, 50 beds. So this group, retirees, active, and they actually deliver the beds during the week too. They build them at their pace and build them and just trying to serve their community. And that's retirees doing that. So if you want someone to give you some inspiration, that's a group right there, that team that you could look forward at and have a good conversation.
We'll definitely have to look into them and get connected with them. So yeah, I've never heard of them until just now. So,
well, again, build a bed. It's it's a basic need that we all take for granted.
Yeah.
That, and I believe they have T-shirts they wore that day. James, I could be wrong, but I believe they said, "No one sleeps on the floor," something of that nature. It was a coined a phrase, something they've got on their T-shirts. Again, it was our first time out doing it, and it was kind of it was a nice journey. It was a learning experience, but we actually had, I was hoping to have, you know how it goes, Dave. I'm hoping we get 10, 12 people show up. We had about 30 volunteers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, for our first time. I was like, wow. And they were pretty surprised too. So they had to tell us what their process was. And we had probably, I'd have to ask Tim Morris, he was there with us. We had like 12 unions represented that had members there. Some of them one, some or two members, everything from Teamsters to JCTA to CWA to, just, and I don't want to leave any unions out, but the one of them that helped Eddie Devine, which leads IBW 369, he was a great integral part of getting this together too and bringing everybody together. But it's something we plan on doing again next year. Even though it's in August, it's warm. We did it outside and things of that nature. Again, basic needs. It's just it's a great feeling to know you're helping families that meet the basic need. That's one thing I say about my position, Metro United Way's labor liaison. And Cletis could tell you this: we don't always see the outcome, but we don't have to get a pat on the back and that a bullet.
Right.
We don't want to give anybody a handout. We want to give somebody a hand up to help create their own sustainable future.
Yeah, I was going to mention that earlier because you made a comment about it. When you could tell somebody who genuinely cares about what they're doing, the mission that they're doing, is they don't care about the recognition. They just care about the veteran that they're helping. Unfortunately, there's a lot of service organizations out there. All they care about is getting their name out there, their face out there. But the ones that do genuinely care, like you, like Cletis, you guys don't mind being in the shadows and working behind the camera because you care about the mission that you guys are doing.
Well, I'd like to go a little step further, tattletale Cletis a little bit, if I may.
Before he gets on, he's jumping on here shortly. So go ahead, tattletale on.
Well, it's the world is so small, you have no idea sometimes. My niece has the same last name as I do, and she's never been married. She has 2 children, and again, she was in the madness thing. I've learned these terminologies from people in AA. She was in the madness for a few years, and she's 8 years in AA program, doing wonderful now. But she went to work at Salvation Army years ago, and turned out her boss was a guy named Cletis Evans. And they have a great relationship. And so she knew him several years before I did. And here I met him at Bikes or Bust event, and he's already mentoring my niece and telling, encouraging her to do the right thing and be a good mother and help her stand back up on her feet. And just from a, not just a supervisor position from working for him, but just mentoring her as a young single mom, raising 2 little small children. And, he went the extra mile he didn't have to. And then turns out she had told me about him, this guy Cletis, but I never put it together until she tells me, you realize the guy you just got 200 bikes a day for is my friend, my boss. I'm like, what are you talking about? And, the world is so smart, so small that, and there's a whole lot of people smarter than me. But I tell you what, I can't, you can't put a value on someone when they invest in a family member and show them their net worth, their worth and things like that. So if Cletis would stop treating my niece the way he treats her, we'd be better off.
Welcome to the show.
Can he hear me?
He should be able to.
If he can or not.
He said he was having a little technical difficulties.
No, I'm forever grateful how he's mentored my niece, and who knew that we would end up working together, doing community initiatives together. Here he's invested plenty of time in her, helping her get back on her feet. So,
yeah. Cletis is a super cool cat, man. Bullet East was playing Meade County a couple Fridays ago, and I went down and I went up during halftime, went up to the booth and was sitting there talking with Cletis. Yeah, Cletis is amazing all the way around. So, are you there? Can you hear us, Cletis?
No, his mic's turned off.
Oh, you might have it muted.
But I participated in that Toys for Tots in Hillview this past weekend. I took my truck and my trailer, and I got to got a police officer, fire truck, and then the mayor of Hillview, and I was right behind them with my truck and trailer, and then the bikes started lining up behind me. Man, there were so many bikes there.
It looked like a great crowd.
It was huge. It's the first time I've ever participated in something like that. Of course, I'm just, again, over the last 6-7 months getting my hands in it, and I represent a nonprofit out of Nashville called Warrior Rounds. So man, that was something else.
Well, hopefully that's one thing we're able to do this year is to, not that event doesn't need to be elevated, but, take that event and tie it stronger to Bikes or Bust, because I don't think, and I'll take blame for this one here. I don't think I've done as much as I should be able to could do to try to lift it up, to let people know that, brand awareness is something in life and society that we see, and I'll tell you brand awareness, for example. And I'm the old guy that went to college late. I didn't even start college till 45, but luckily my UAW Ford negotiated benefit, I received my bachelor's degree at 50 years old. But I took a marketing class, and when you talk about brand awareness, one of the first things you hear about is like McDonald's. Everyone recognizes around in the highway, you see the golden arches and things like that. Mm-hmm. My mother, when it comes to veterans, is so passionate. And James, I'm being kind to my mother when I say this, okay? Don't take it from me. But if I take her to the airport, I'm involved with the airport, we've got to go an hour early. And I'm so proud of her. She's 86 years old. She will shake anyone that it's in uniform or out of uniform. And some of them they're not even military. She thinks because their haircut, they're military. She goes and shakes their hand and thanks them for service. And
that's awesome.
Sometimes I step back and watch, and I'm in so awe of that her passion is so much to do that. But the brand of Toys for Tots, I'm guilty. I think that through Bikes or Bust, I think it should be lifted up and elevated more, James, Dave, so more veterans know that these bikes are being provided and donated to the community to be associated with just the toys too. It's not just so both fundraisers together, and I think they can complement one another. What is the key thing that the organization in Nashville you before mentioned, James? What do they do?
It's music therapy. They bring warriors, what they define as warriors, and it can be veterans, combat veterans, cancer survivors, Gold Star families, first responders. Okay. They bring them down to Nashville, and they put them in a real nice hotel for the night. The next morning, they take them down. They put them in a room with an accomplished singer-songwriter. And a lot of the songwriters that volunteer their time down there are Grammy Award-winning songwriters. Like when I did my retreat, I was hooked up with a gentleman by the name of Bobby E. Boyd. And Mr. Boyd co-wrote "Bless the Broken Road" that Rascal Flatts won a Grammy with.
I'll be darned.
So he took my story, and turned it into a song. So about 2.5 months later, they have a free live concert at the Hard Rock Cafe in downtown Nashville, where they present the story and then your song. So it's pretty powerful. It is really, really powerful. So about 6 months ago, I got tired of sitting on my dead butt here at the house doing nothing. So I got me a 24-foot trailer. I decorated it Warrior Rounds. I went down to J2 Cooper, who started Warrior Rounds. I went down to his house and stole all his hats and T-shirts and CDs. So after I paid my bills at the first of the month, then I figure out where I can go and what I can get into for the rest of the month based on the amount of money that I have left over. And I just drive my trailer and I go out and I try to represent Warrior Rounds and raise awareness about them. I got a TV and videos that I play while I'm out there. And, every time I go out, what happened was I got introduced to the Vietnam Traveling Wall,
Yes.
and I was able to go with this particular company on 2 different events. And I started talking to people, started telling them about my story and blah, 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 blah. Well, that blew up. I mean, now people bring me in. I talk to organizations. I talk to groups of folks because as a grown man, the hardest thing I ever had to do was pull my own head out of my own ass. So briefly, you know, and I come back from Somalia, and I buried a child, and then went through my first major divorce in 16 months.
Mm.
And people don't understand why I try to drink myself to death for that.
I'm so sorry. Yes, I don't know where you get the tools to cope with that. You know, it's not. There's nothing normal about that.
Well, I found out that my tool of choice was absolutely the wrong one for many, many years. And then, what was it, Dave? 2014, I got sick in June or July. Now, I had custody of my other 2 children, and drinking like a fish. I was an ass. There's no other way to put it. Working 60, 65 hours a week. I got sick in June or July. I thought I had bronchitis or something stupid.
Mm.
And so, of course, you know, being a big old macho stubborn man, I never went to the doctor. Didn't have time for that shit. And October of that year, I attempted suicide. And the belt broke. And in December, I'm not a religious feller. I don't follow religion, but I do have faith. So in December of 14, somebody tapped me on the shoulder. It was Jesus. And he said, "Oh, you want to die? Let's try this out." So I was diagnosed with double pneumonia and acute myeloid leukemia. So over the course of the next couple of years, it tried to kill me twice. So after I beat that and got it all out of my system, Jesus come back to me and said, "Hey, you still want to die?" "No, I'm good. I'm going to run around this country as much as I can and run my mouth because it works."
I like it.
So-
I love it. I love it. Thank you for
So
everything.
that's
you
what I do.
Are you a friend of Bill?
Bill who?
I don't know if you're an AA. It's
Oh, no. See, I got very lucky.
okay.
I didn't get caught. I never got in any legal trouble. I just kept my alcohol at home and just did stupid stuff at home. I never did. If you look over here, I got 156 different bottles of bourbon. I got 12 bottles that are open because
Right.
I can drink like a human now. If every now and then I want to have a drink, I'll have a drink. I don't have to drink a fifth every night.
There you go. Good deal. Good deal.
You know what I mean?
I really appreciate respect more so than you probably believe that the fact that you said I'm not religious and I have faith. I tell everybody all the time, people will say things in front of me and I'm like, man, I'm not religious. My wife and I, we partake and volunteer at church and attend our church regular. But religion's man-made. You can pick all the religions in the world you want, but we're believers. My wife and I
Absolutely.
are. In 2010, Dave, I went to Africa. I don't know if I ever told you that, but I went to Kenya for 10 days and served. I was a chaplain, like I say, with UAW. And then I taught high school Bible study at my church, Valley View, where I used to go for 20 years. And anyway, there's a word that in all the corporate acronyms Ford has, and a lot of companies having their vision statements is sustainability. And the reason I bring that up is because when I was in Africa, these kids, they would get 1 meal a day and they would do this thing called porridge. And I would ask these mentors and pastors, I would just ask them questions, try to learn things about things like that. And they said, and all they want to do is be sustainable to get 1 meal a day. And I did eat it. I tried it. I'll put it that way. If you like refried beans, which I do, you wouldn't even want to try this. It's the worst. It's like the worst tasting refried beans you ever had in your life. But if it's the only meal you get a day and you get that 1 bowl porridge a day, and that's what they ate over in Kenya. But anyway, their whole thing's to be sustainable. And I think in the space of us serving our brothers and sisters, veterans and just regular civilians and families, and like to be inclusive to Cletis, one of the things that Cletis has really done well is, in my view, is recognize that, hey, these veterans have children and grandchildren, and nothing would please these veterans more than to know that their children or grandchildren are sustained by whether it's this meal for the holidays or these toys or these bikes or whatever, something that they can't financially provide for them. So I applaud you, Cletis, for filling that space and being there, being in that space when it's needed for families. So,
well, let's welcome Cletus to the stage. How are you tonight, Mr. Cletus?
Man, for a guy that, can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
For a guy that was in electronics his whole life in the Corps, I have screwed this one all up tonight. My God, I tried the laptop. It was lagging so far behind. It's like I'd hear every fifth word probably.
Yeah.
And I said, about to pull my gun out and shoot this whole damn thing. But,
Here, let's just do this.
and let me tell you something, Tim, when you mentioned a friend of Bill, yeah, I'm a friend of Bill's. Hell, I became a friend of Bill's in '88, and
I
I
didn't know
tell you
that.
what, the last 2 years have been, trying times. And there's a bottle that right over here that sits behind this TV, and I can see the side of it. Okay, and that's the bottle they gave me when I was in the Veterans Hall of Fame. And I tell you what, I've eyeballed that sumbitch about a dozen times. I'm like, man, I think I might have to break that open. But so far, so good. Don't have to do it because, I was listening to your story, James, and I just, no one wants to be a failure at anything. And I'm glad that your suicide was a failure. Okay. You need to stick around this
Amen.
joint and tell the stories of those that can't tell their story. That's
Yeah.
what I've always said. That's why we're here, that we made it from all those dark times and, being overseas and stuff. And like you said, nobody's perfect. Hell, I went through a divorce and I thought that was a complete failure on my part, and I thought, how am I going to get through this? And sometimes you just got to let it work its way out. And I had 3 good reasons, and those are my 3 kids, to keep living and keep working for them. And I think I overheard somebody say something about grandkids. Well, by God, they're piling the hell up now. Hell, I got a 3-year-old down in North Carolina. The son up here in Louisville just had the little girl. She's almost 3 months old. Hell, I got babysitting duty.
I don't
Here
know
I
how you
thought
get.
I was done with being the duty NCO and all that stuff. Shit, 2 times a week I got to report in at 3 o'clock over at his house. So 4 hours. That's all. It's a 4-hour shift, but still, it's something. And you can sit there and reflect and think about, what if I didn't make it out of that place? What if I, God had a different path for me, and I would hate the fact that we left this earth way too soon. Because I got news for you. I bet in all of you can sit there and say to yourself, I still got a lot of work to do here.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like we've got a lot of things to do when it comes to taking care of families, taking care of kids. I've been very lucky not to, trust me, I had my own financial woes at times in my life, and I don't know what I would have done if I had to go and ask for help, but somehow I made it, and I'm okay. But I feel very sorry for the people that have to decide: do I want to pay the light bill? Do I want to pay the water bill? Or do I want to go buy my kid a toy? And if we can erase that, when we have these events, when we can give somebody a bike, man, that's the reward.
Absolutely.
That's the, I don't want to be, some person of the year. They can kiss my ass on that one. My reward is knowing that we did it that year, and we look forward to the next year.
But just to let you 2 guys know, because you do so much within the veteran community, about 2 months ago, I had a meeting with the mayor of Shepherdsville, and that's, it's my hometown. I tell everybody I was born in Claremont, raised in Shepherdsville. I was educated in New York, spent 25 and a half years in Georgia, and now I'm back. So I had a meeting with the mayor, and then he put me in front of city council. So I am responsible with the city of Shepherdsville and Mayor Jose Cabero, bringing in the Vietnam traveling wall next year.
Awesome.
It is the largest traveling wall in the United States. It is 360 feet long.
Wow.
It's going to be a huge celebration. We're going to bring it in the night of July 24th, and it's going to be open 24/7 until it leaves about noon on the 30th of July next year.
That's incredible.
So I have worked and worked and worked, and I feel like I'm just now scraping the top of the iceberg, because I've got to get to the bottom of this iceberg before this wall gets here. There's just so much work to be done. And Willis has been a big help, and a bunch of his buddies have been big helps, because again, I'm just now, the last 6 months running around telling my story. And I think Thursday I'm supposed to go to E-Town or Radcliffe and talk to a group of veterans that have gotten themselves in some trouble, and they're actually graduating a program. And they asked me last night if I'd come down and talk to them for a little bit. I'm more than happy to. So I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to make my cute face and my big, grumpy, gruggly voice known. And of course, everywhere I go, I'm towing that 24-foot black trailer with warrior rounds and a big old praying, kneeling soldier in front of a cross on it. So it definitely gets attention. I told everybody the other day, I said, listen, I wouldn't have to worry about money the rest of my life if I had $1 for every picture that was taken of that trailer. If I go down the interstate, folks pull up beside it in the pasture, somebody in the back seat's taking pictures, everybody's honking horns and waving. For example, Toys for Tots the other day in Hillview, there were so many people that come up and stood beside the trailer just to get your picture taken. I mean, I'm having a blast with it. I can't do it a lot. I have no energy. And 2 years of straight chemo took its toll on me. So when I go out for a day, it takes me a day and a half to recover, because I'm completely zapped. But I absolutely enjoy. And Mr. Stone Cold, you are absolutely right. I don't think my job is done here.
No.
Well, the thing is that you hear that I've heard, gentlemen, being a supporter of AA, going to my niece and my brothers. Cletis, I was telling my brother celebrating his 14th. They call it a birthday in September, his 14th birthday celebration. So if I may expound on that a little bit, we went to Virginia to move my sister in September. And the Saturday while we were there, we only went for 3 days just to move her from one house to the other and come back, Richmond, Virginia. So we go to AA meeting, and it's the day of my brother's 14th sobriety birthday on that Saturday morning. So we sit next to a Marine, and the Marine's name is Tim, which I'm like, oh, what's the odds of this? Tim sitting next to Tim. And another Marine from across the room just so happened to have a token on him, and he brought it over, and it's the only token he had with him, and it was for 14 years.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And, coming from a military family, Cletis, I know my grandfather, World War II, and my dad was Korean War. My brother and I was just like, only God could put us in a place like that little church with 20-some people in that meeting. But one of the things I hear all the time, James, at those meetings, again, I'm and Dave, you'll get a kick out of this, because all of you will, basically. At the time when I started going to those meetings off and on, being vice president of my union, James, we've got 13,000 members. So apparently someone took one of my picture of me, but I didn't know it. I didn't pose or anything, coming or going or something. And people in the plant would go, "You're a friend of Bill, huh?" Or, "Man, I'm glad you're in the program," this, that, whatever. And I'm like, "Who's Bill?" So I had to ask who's Bill. And Bill's the person who wrote the big book for AA. I had to learn it myself. But the thing is, I hear them all say, from Louisville, Kentucky to Ice House to other places I've gone to, I'm a supporter. Now, I introduce myself as a supporter when I go to those meetings, James. But I hear, even in Richmond, Virginia, they say the same thing. Sometimes you just got to you got to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's what God's calling you to do by, and by his angel reaching out to you, James, you got to get out of the way of yourself. As Cletis said, there's a reason why you weren't successful. You failed at what you tried to do. You got to get out of the way and do what your calling is to do and what you're passionate about, and you can inspire and lift others up. So,
and I tell people all the time, my Jesus has a sense of humor, and I'm living proof of it. Here, I tried to kill myself for years, drinking and drinking and drinking, and then I hung myself with a damn belt from the bedroom door, and it didn't work. So then he tagged on leukemia for me for about 2 years. It took me 5 years to get over it, and now he's like, you still want to die? No, buddy, you got my attention. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
well, the wall, you were talking about the wall. Have you gentlemen seen the wall, the replica wall that stands down in Elizabethtown?
I was there for the dedication of that. And that was an awesome deal. And I know that you guys, UAW, had a huge part in building and setting that whole entire place up. I mean, that was just phenomenal.
We built 90% of it. Basically, they were down there for 14 months doing it, and then had to go back and pour more concrete. It's phenomenal, James. You need to go see it. Dave, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the story on that one. We're all going down there. We can't wait to get down there. And Todd calls me at 7 o'clock in the morning. We're supposed to be there at 9. If you remember, Cletis, at the dedication, there was a lot of Harley riders and stuff that couldn't park there. They had to park down the road. There was not enough room. Right. I think it was 9 or 10 that morning we were going to do the ribbon cutting. So Todd Dunn told me, that's the president of UAW, James. He says, hey, I'm on my way to Detroit. You're emceeing today. You and Heather French Henry.
Oh, man.
He said, you got to introduce Heather French Henry. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I said, Todd, it's the replica wall, the 14 months of work. He goes, I've got to go to Detroit. I'm in the truck going to Detroit right now. So I literally had about 30 minutes to get ready to MC, to just do introductions for that and get it going. But that wall is phenomenal down there. It's beautiful. Again, we're such a large crowd there. Cletis can tell you that everyone on their motorcycles, which veterans are on their motorcycles, they parked them a little bit down the road, I guess, Cletis, and then put them on a shuttle and brought them to the wall. Yeah.
Well, so, the wall that we're bringing, of course, like I said, is an 80% replica. It is 360 feet long. Right. So it has all 58,000 plus names on it. Also, we're going to have what they call the Cost of Freedom tribute. And that's pretty much everything from Vietnam to today. So you've got the Beirut bombing, you've got 9/11, Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq. So altogether, when this entire thing gets put up, the wall itself and then the Cost of Freedom tribute, there's over 70,000 names on that field.
Oh, my God.
And the mayor has basically allowed me just to take this and run with it. So one of the first things I'd done was went down and measured off the city park and how we're going to do this and how I want to do that. So I pretty much just locked down the city park. I'm going to bring in select VSOs. There's going to be a few food trucks. There's going to be some live music. And I told everybody so far, I said, look, during the day, it's a celebration.
When is this? I'm sorry.
We're going to bring the wall in July 24th. And all the official stuff, I guess, will be from the 25th on through the 30th. It's at the exact same time that the VFW National Convention will be in Louisville. And that's why I selected that time frame, because I want to try to get some buses downtown to get those guys and gals, put them on some buses, and the police escort them all the way to Shepherdsville so they can see this as well. So
if I may suggest this, Dave Willis, when he gets this mapped out, can you share it with Eric Foster?
Will do.
Because you'll need sponsorships in some areas, James, in my union. Like I say, we can, we need to get engaged, get involved, and help with the lift on this.
Yeah,
James. And I'm gonna try to educate you folks. Does anybody, and Willis, don't say nothing because I know you know the answer because I've said it too many times. What's the youngest person on the Vietnam Wall? What's the age of the youngest person on the Vietnam Wall?
Is it 16?
It's 15. 15. There's 2 16-year-olds, and there's 8 women on that wall. So it's when the first time I got to participate with the wall, the first night we set it up in Indiana, there was an elderly couple come out there about 10 o'clock at night, and they come over and picked them up in the golf cart, took them over to the information booth, and took them up to the wall. And they stood up next to the wall about 10 or 15 minutes. And then this city had red, white, and blue benches all the way down where folks can actually sit down and, spend some time there. And they did. The little old man, the little old woman, they sat down on the bench, and she reached down in this bag, and she pulled out this big old blanket. It was 48 degrees out there that night. And they wrapped up in that blanket. They sat out there at about 3:15 in the morning. So they spent a little over 5 hours out there. So I was curious, are they okay? And they're like, yeah, that's their son on the wall. They've never seen the wall.
Wow.
Now, if you think about this, the Vietnam era folks are 70, 72. So to have two parents still alive and to spend 5 hours at 48-degree weather, it's if you have a heart, it'll pull it. I promise you. That's serious stuff. And that's why when we do the celebration here in Shepherdsville, I'm going to allow the celebrations during the day. But a half hour before dark, everything stops. Because when dark hits, that wall transforms. It's magic, and you can't explain it. That wall takes on a different appearance at night. And now it's time for remembrance. It's time for honoring. It's important to me. It's important to a lot of people. And I'm going to bust my ass to make sure that those 70,000 plus names on that field are honored and respected like they're supposed to be.
Yes. Amen.
Absolutely. And just want to pile in on what Tim said. When you get to the point of however you're going to do logistics, and I don't know if you're going to want honor guards out there, do rifle honors, taps, all that good stuff. I'll go ahead and commit to Marine Corps League out of Louisville. Whatever you need, just let us know.
Yeah.
And
because I've been looking and I haven't, and of course, I don't know too many people, so my fingers ain't out there all the way yet. But
if you know Dave, then you know 1,000 people.
Well,
I told him that numerous times. I was like,
he is slowly introducing me to folks.
And Dave, that's in the backyard of Active Heroes. Hello,
Yeah.
I've
They're
been out
already
there.
involved.
Yeah, we got stuff working with Active Heroes right now. So
with Corey.
So yeah, you're not alone.
So Cletis, we were talking about bikes or bust. We're also talking about boxes of love, which you guys are very integral working together on that, and also the Toys for Tots drive. And you got a bike run coming up soon, don't you? A bike rally?
Yeah, the bike run is this is the 41st year that the Kentucky Motorcycle Association and the Marine Corps League Detachment has hosted this event. For the last, I'm going to say 22 years, it has been always on the Sunday after Thanksgiving. They meet at Logistics Drive off the Greenbelt Parkway, and that's usually from 12 until 2 o'clock. That's when they ask people to come and show up and do their registration, which is mainly just check in with somebody. And, depending on the, God's good graciousness of giving us a nice day, it could be a little windy, but if it's fair conditions and maybe 50 or 60 degrees, that whole drive will be lined up with motorcycles. And knock on wood, this is my 12th year doing Toys for Tots. I've had one bad day. It really wasn't that bad, but still. And of course, COVID kind of knocked us for a loop. That was the first time we'd ever had less than 1,000 motorcycles. But still, the fact that we got 900 toys that day, that's 900 toys I didn't have.
Right.
So I don't get hung up on the numbers, okay? I am definitely wanting to, get as much stuff as I can and, capitalize on, great weather. One year we had 4,200 bikes. It took 50, I think we timed it at 51 minutes from the time the first bike got into Cardinal Stadium parking lot till the very last one pulled in. And I mean, it's just constantly going. And I mean, we filled up this whole place. Now we're over at the Fairgrounds and Exposition Center. We do everything behind Broadbent Arena. We've been very happy with the relationship with the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center and Kentucky Venues because, number one, they allow us to do this and didn't charge us a single dime. So we're grateful for that partnership and relationship with them. And so we're looking forward to another, exciting run. Go back to Bikes or Bust. Bikes or Bust is successful only because of the public. And, for the last couple of years, and I know he's not going to want to hear this, but that guy right there, if I ever run for office, that's my campaign finance manager right there, in Tim Sanders. Because I don't know if he stiff arms people, but there's some great, loving union workers, no matter whether or not they're on strike or not. They give $1, they give $5, they give $10, they give $100. Okay. And when you get into the thousands of dollars that's been collected year after year after year to go ahead and jumpstart the Bikes or Bust like we do, it's out of this world. Absolutely out of this world. And then we rely on the rest of the public to come to us and bring us those bikes that we need. I mean, you can't promise anything to anyone because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
You take the very first year, we didn't know what we were going to get. So, you learn as you go along, and we've learned over the years how to really manage this event and to no kidding get rid of the bikes to all the different groups that we have out there, and we rotate them on a 2 to 3 year basis, because you don't want to give bikes to the same group every single year because some of the kids haven't grown out of that bike yet.
Yeah.
So we've got a good plan and a good system, and I absolutely love the partnership that Tim and I have, and it's worked well.
I appreciate it. With that being said, Dave, this year it's so your listeners know it's coming up just for a couple of weeks. We start at 6 a.m. on November 16th, go 103 hours all the way till November 20th at 8 a.m. At 8 a.m. on the 20th, they will stop. They will come to the DJ. Will come down from the lift at 9 a.m. From 9 to about 11. Cletis will work his magic, and we'll have people lined up in the back of the parking lot to receive bikes. These nonprofit organizations. One organization I want to lift up and share with you, gentlemen, if I may, is Kentucky Brain Alliance. Brain Alliance of Kentucky are donating again over 400 helmets this year. So it's great that these kids can get those helmets also. So how can the public get involved, Dave? James?
Yes, sir.
We could use anybody and everybody that knows somebody, even if they want to partner as a family with another family member. Go get a bicycle, bring it by, take a photo in front of the Toys R Tots trailer, whatever, the banner and everything. Take that photo, post it, share it, and share. Make sure everybody knows about it. But drop bikes off. There'll be a good group of volunteers to welcome them, greet them. And if somebody wants to actually physically volunteer, Cletis, from 9 to 11 a.m., 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on November 20th, that Monday morning, again, Cletis will be working his magic, lining us up, telling us what direction to go. And we'll clear that lot of hopefully 1,400 bikes within a few hours and get them loaded up on trailers and get them to the families in need. So,
well, I want to throw myself out there for you gentlemen. If you ever need an escort, and give you an idea, when this Toys for Tots come up in with the Hillview, I come down to the old Frisch's location in Shepherdsville, sit out there for an hour and a half with a box on a table out there for folks that couldn't attend if they wanted to drop off a toy. So when I left Shepherdsville, and again, our Lord works in mysterious ways. When I pulled out of Frisch's, went down to Preston Highway to make a right, go to Hillview, I looked in my side mirror and there was 40 or 50 bikes behind me. Where did they come from? Because I never saw them.
Wow.
And then, of course, I've got strobe lights on my truck. I've got strobe lights on my trailer. And then these guys throw their flashers on and we roll straight into Hillview. I bring this monster box full of toys up there. And then the mayor of Hillview asked me if I would because, of course, I run flags off of the back of my trailer when I'm in escorts or parades. And then they used my flag for the pledge or for the national anthem. And then he asked me if I would get behind him and lead the escort. So we had all the bikes come up behind. And Dave, do you have a picture of the trailer? Not the one I just sent you. That's not a good one.
I'd love to see it.
I've got one. I'm trying to find it.
One. So there's that one.
Oh yeah. Union made truck too. You got that Chevy truck. I like the bow tie. I'm a Ford guy, but hey, it's union made. I love it.
I traded a Ford for that. I had to get a 3/4 ton, and I wanted a gas engine, so I went with that. I had a F-150 that had an 8.5-inch lift, had 37-inch tires, 22-inch wheels, and I'm like, you know what? I'm too old for that shit. It hurt falling out of that truck every day, and then it took a while to climb back in it. So I come back down to reality.
Sucks.
Yes, sir. You know, I tell people, David, that picture right there, brother. I tell people all the time, I would love to go back about 40 years. And that 12-year-old kid that said, damn it, I'm mad. I can't wait till I motor, and just beat the hell out of him. Yeah, there's my truck and trailer.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely
awesome.
love it. Yeah. So I don't know if there's an opportunity. There's a day when we do Bikes or Bust. Cletis, I'm talking out loud here, okay?
Sure.
We have a press conference. I've got to get off here, gentlemen. I'd like to share this with you if I could, please, before I get off here. If nothing else, I know you can't just bring your truck and trailer anytime you want to go somewhere, James. But if y'all like to join us, we are going to have a press conference at Bikes or Bust on Friday, the 17th at 10 a.m. at the Union Hall, 3000 Plum Valley Road. And the mayor's coming to give Cletis a proclamation. I couldn't hide it from him. Had to let Cletis know what's going to happen for his service to our community. So we'd love to have you gentlemen there. If that trailer was there, that'd be even more incredible to us. But don't know if there's an opportunity during the 4 days to bring it back, James, but if there was or whatever. But I'd like to follow up.
What time? What time on the 17th?
We're doing it at 10 a.m. in the morning. And we're going to have limited space. I don't even know where you'd park it at, to be honest with you. Oh, there's only that one side over there, Cletis, right? I mean, because we're going to take the whole front half.
Yeah. But that trailer's a 24-footer, and then you got that.
We don't have room.
You got that. Then you got that 3/4 ton truck. So
we can't do it, just don't have room. I'd ask you, gentlemen, to forgive me, but I need to get off here. Dave, I'd like to follow up and
yes, sir,
with all of us and Eric Foster, if there's an opportunity soon.
Yes, sir.
To be, if James will have us, I like to lean in and help any way we can with what you got going next year.
We'll make
absolutely. I need all the help I can get, sir.
I know. Cletis, I know 1 or 20 people. So
Cletis, when are you going to meet Eric? Cletis,
say again.
When are you supposed to go meet with Eric Foster?
I don't know.
We were supposed to recently. We had to cancel it because the strike. People were on the picket line. So we're going to reschedule it.
Reschedule it.
So what I'll do, here's what I'll do. Some things happen by incident, accident, whatever. Again, I'm going to invite you gentlemen to come to the press conference. I'm going to invite Eric Foster to be at that press conference.
Okay.
Following the press conference, want to take some photos, especially we want to reach out. I want to ask you to use all your social media sources and post the photos that of yourselves there with us all there at the press conference, and then introduce James to Eric and everything. And Dave, just plant a seed there. I can't say Eric can commit to it right now, but I'm going to make that call. I will see Eric next Saturday. We're going to be in the Veterans Parade downtown Louisville. This is a little graphic, but I'm having some major dental surgery that Friday, so hopefully I can make it. I'm having two teeth pulled, so it ain't gonna be no fun.
No,
definitely not.
Yeah.
Well, it was an honor to meet you, Mr. Tim, and I appreciate it. And I hope that we will actually find something that we can do to work together. I'm sure there's something coming down the road.
Well, there's opportunities all the time. We just got to be intentional about them, right, Cletis?
That's right.
We just got to
be very deliberate. So
yes, I will. let you gentlemen go. It's a privilege and honor to speak to all of you. And again, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of my entire family, thank you all for your commitment and sacrifice to our country and our community because, everything's about choice. As James, as you said, you talked about the liquor a while ago. Life's about choices. You can either choose to go dive in the bottle and live in there, or you can just pass it by and visit it when you want to, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So
So
Tim,
see if y'all have an opportunity that on the 17th, again, the Cletis press conference, please come by. I'm going to invite Eric tomorrow. I'm going to call him tomorrow and see if I'm going to text him as soon as I get off here and let him know I'd really love for him to come. And then if you guys are there, I know he knows Dave already, but I like to plant that seed one way or the other, Dave. Let's be intentional about it. So
yeah,
thank
for
you
sure.
guys. God bless you. And this is my first time on this, Dave. You're going to have to show me how to log off on here. I don't know.
I'll take care of it. All you got to do
Hit
is
the
close
big X
down.
button.
But
See you,
thank you
Tim.
for coming on, Tim, and we'll talk soon, brother.
All right. God bless, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.
God
take
bless.
care.
All right. I'll tell you what, I've known Tim for a really long time, and that is one of the most genuine people out there. He's right up there with Cletus. I'll tell you what.
Oh no. He's way above me. Sorry. Tim's a mover and a shaker. Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He is. Whew. I'll
Yeah,
give you a good example. First time we're at UAW Fern Valley Road to do the Bikes or Bust, and I did a very poor job of getting rid of the bikes, so I had probably 500 bikes left over. Now I had access to two 53-foot trailers from Steve Sternberg, Sternberg Truck Rentals. He's been very kind to me for the last 12 years, give me trucks. Don't cost me anything to haul toys around. But this time I needed 53 footers. He just happened to have to. He says, but I don't have a tractor driver. So I told Tim my dilemma. And Tim called Todd Dunn. And he just happened to walk out of the building. Todd said, hang on a second. He called the president of the Teamsters for the truck drivers. I kid you not, in 20 minutes, this big maroon truck shows up in the parking lot. Big, tall, 6'4" black guy walks over to me and he says, hey, which one of you guys is Cletus? And his name was Mac. And Mac said, whatever you need, I'm here. And that's it. I mean, it's stuff like that that just blows my mind away. And
yeah.
Mac stayed with us all day and moved these trailers wherever we needed them. We got everything loaded. But the bottom line was it's about partnerships and teamwork. And I learned early on to start building relationships because in my first year doing Toys for Tots, we only had about 83 or 85 businesses that really participated in this. And, we relied on them to give us as many toys as we could. And then we'd end up having to buy a bunch. Today, we have over 230 businesses that have a white collection box in their office. When you get to that level, not only is your productivity of getting toys in increase, but the potential for them to maybe have a Christmas party or write you a check goes above and beyond. And I may have shared this with you before, Dave, but just for James's edification, we were in the COVID year in 2020, and I never had asked for money. But you think about all the businesses that didn't have anybody in their offices. And in that particular year, we were right about 200. And I think we only had 43 businesses that collected toys in their office. And it was just rough. And so on the first Friday of December, we were doing that 12-hour toy challenge. And I made a video at Mission Barbecue at 6:30 in the morning before the sun came up. And I said, all right, folks, here's the deal. I'm hoping we have a great turnout today. But it looks like we're just going to give one toy to every kid. And we had always given 2 to 3 toys. We take pride in, collecting 50,000 toys for, 16,000 kids and stuff. Well, I had put on there in that video how to make a monetary donation. So that was Friday. On Monday morning, my accounting specialist out of Quantico calls me and asks me if everything's okay. And I said, yeah, why? You've never called me before. She said, well, over the weekend, you got $32,000 in online donations.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's going to get better. So I said, how much? And no kidding, $50, $100, $500. I mean, people are just going crazy. What I had not done, and I probably waited until the very end of that week, was I had forgotten about the P.O. box that we have. And when I went to the P.O. box, it's a very small box, but it was chock full of envelopes. Okay. And there were checks inside. When we were done counting all the checks and going through them, we had $61,000 in checks. We made $93,000 in a week.
Wow.
Just because.
And
we spent it. We spent, probably $50,000 or $60,000 buying toys, that helped us bail us out. And, I got to thank we had Myers, we had Walmart, and certain ones I go to that we get discounts. So we stretched that dollar as far as we could. And you have to do it in this time. And Tim alluded to it when he talked about, people going out and buying a bike. Times are tough.
Yes, sir.
I hate that I've got to ask people who I know are trying to pinch pennies, use coupons, save money, and say, I want you to go buy me a bike. But I don't want you to buy me just a small bike. I want you to buy me one of the big bikes. And those are $179.
right.
So what I've tried to do over the last 3 years when we get on the radio or television is talk about team up with another family and go in half, or team up with 3 families and go in a third and then go buy that bike. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not, again, I'll say this until I'm dead. I'm not hung up about how many bikes I get. I want you to give me the bikes that I can give for 10-year-olds all the way up to 16-year-olds.
Right.
Okay. That's because they're the ones that get left behind a lot. Okay. I do it with toys. I'm going to do it with bikes. And there's going to be people that's not going to listen to you. But instead of having 400 little bitty 12-inch or 14-inch bikes, well, let me have 75 of those and maybe 50 of the others.
Right.
And we'll make a difference. We're going to make a difference no matter what. So.
Yeah. So I was looking on the Toys for Tots for Louisville page, looking for the bike run. I didn't see a post for
There ain't
it.
anything up there, buddy. I am trying hey, I don't know if you can see that, but it says 309 emails.
Oh man.
Now, this morning at 6:30, it was 712. This is what I've been doing all day long.
Yeah, you're busy man, I tell you.
It sucks because, you all were talking about Vietnam veterans and their age. They're in their 70s. And that's the average age of my Marine volunteers is 70. I'm the young guy of the group at 56, but there's only a few of us guys.
Right.
And the rest are, no kidding, all Vietnam vets. And you remember the year after the Breonna Taylor incident?
Yeah.
So we were supposed to go downtown and manage that Metro Hall location for that toy drop lane that they had down there. And the people at the foundation called and said, hey, are you going to go down there this year? And I'm like, wasn't planning on it, but if we do, we're okay. And even the Metro government said, well, we'll bring some extra police out there. I said, it's not that we need protection. You need to protect the idiots out there, because every one of these Vietnam vets has got a gun and they'll shoot somebody.
Yeah, they would too.
So we didn't go down there for that reason. And, it still worked out for us. But, yeah, I will take those Marines any day of the week. And we do have other people that volunteer. We got other veterans that volunteer with us. I don't care what branch you are. I love them all, because when you
Right.
cross the line of departure, it's one team, one fight. I don't care
Yeah,
who's shooting that 50 cal.
definitely, definitely. So we got Bikes or Bust, Boxes of Love. We got the Toys for Tot drive going on.
I'll tell
Uh,
you some of the other things that are going. Let's see here.
Now,
I
will
do
you be
have my
doing the?
calendar.
What are you doing on? You're going to go to the parade for Veterans Day, right? Downtown Louisville.
So we'll be in the Veterans Day parade with the Cayana Antique Car Club that we do each year. They provide about anywhere from 10 to 14 convertibles. We'll ride in the cars as long as it's a nice day. We'll stick veterans in there, and it's more of a show and pony show than anything. We don't collect toys down there or anything. I tried one year and it didn't work out very well.
Right.
So, but yeah, we'll do that. Then, like you said, we'll kick off Bikes or Bust that week, and then once we wrap that up, we go into the Thanksgiving break, and the motorcycle ride is the next big ticket item that we'll do. Once we're done with that, that is the start of where we go into the warehouse and start. We'll take all those toys and start sorting them, and by gender and by age. We'll work through that week, and then that Friday, December 1st, is the 12-hour toy challenge that we'll do across the city. We'll have Mission Barbecue. We'll have Paristown as main drop-off points. All the fire departments are fair game. So you don't have to drive downtown anymore to be a part of that, and we encourage
Right.
everybody to participate. And we'll flush that out. WLKY is our TV sponsor for the event, so they'll have coverage all 12 hours. The following day is the Light Up Louisville event. So they wanted to do something different this year, so we're gonna actually put a truck downtown, and at the end of the parade route for Light Up Louisville, then Paristown's gonna bring all their stuff. Louisville Metro Corrections, fire stations will drop all their toys off on the 2nd, and then we'll bring them back. Then that next week, is December 4th through the 8th. Well, starting on the 5th, we'll go pick up those boxes of those 230 plus businesses, start bringing them back in. Each day we'll do so many. We'll do a zip code, and
Right.
as we're collecting and sorting, we're also packaging and sending stuff out. Wayside Christian Mission they're the last ones to do registration for anybody needing toys. Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Lost
We hear you.
connection here. Okay.
Yeah.
So as things are coming in, we've got to push things back out. So from Wayside Christian, St. Vincent de Paul, all the Boys and Girls Clubs, we are starting to push things out. And then we've got outlying counties. Oldham County, they have the American Red Cross Center that we take toys to. We take toys to Operation Care, which is in downtown Shelbyville. That's our Shelby County connection. Up in Henry County and Eminence, they have a help center. We take toys there. In Owen County, there's a farm extension office. That's the farthest we go up to up 6471 corridor. Spencer County, I've got a Marine down there that's in a church, and they take care of the families in Spencer County. I think I named them all there. Once that's all over with, and we get to about the middle part of December, the next week, we'll make a determination of how many toys we got left over. And then we're going to start piling toys in, separating them by age and gender again. And that's when we roll down to Eastern Kentucky. 3 counties that were hard hit. We've been doing this for 6 years by the grace of God. Breathitt County, Perry County, and Letcher County, which is, I think it's Campton, Hazard, and Whitesburg. And we take toys to them. And those people, they don't have any connection to a Toys for Tots program whatsoever. There's actually 53 counties that don't have a Toys for Tots connection. And I hate it, but that's my life goal, is to find a way to get something somewhere. There's a lot of counties don't have a Walmart.
Right.
So But there's always, I think there's always a need out there. But
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
that's kind of the spill that takes us up till about the 22nd of December, and then we just sit and wait. If there's any last minute people that maybe lost a job or something bad happened, they couldn't sign up. We
Right.
vet them out, and then we go get some toys, and we actually personally deliver them to a house. And
Oh, that's awesome.
we put them all in a big old black contractor bag and walk up, and we'll call them and say, "Hey, did you call us?" Once they verify that they don't know who you are, and I'll say, "Hey, go outside and pick up them toys off your front porch."
Oh man, that's
And
awesome.
then they're crying, and it's tough. I mean, it gets to me. All of us veterans, we're big badass people, but once you get out and all this stuff, and you start doing real work,
Yeah.
I never thought I didn't know anything about stuff like this, but this is, I mean, it's truly a joy, and
Yeah.
to make somebody happy and have a little faith that there's humanity out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So yeah, James, like I was telling you, man, Cletus stays busy year round. He very seldom has downtime. Uh, but he is slowing down a little bit just because he's got grandbabies and stuff now. So he, but he stays busy. I mean, I met his team. Was it 2 years ago? I believe it was. I met your team at the Bikes or Bust.
Yeah.
And man, I tell you what, his team is amazing that he's got working with him, and all the volunteers for Bikes or Bus at UAW 862, Q103. You got Cole Chevrolet over in Indiana. The whole Bikes or Bus thing and the Toys for Tots thing, man. I tell you what, it is something to behold if you've never seen it behind the scenes. It's just amazing, and the community that comes out that supports the bikes, the giving the Toys for Tots. It's just amazing. It's just there is hope for humanity when you see it from the backside of it looking out. It's just amazing. So
I wanted to because I had such a joy in doing the Hillview Toys for Tots, and they've got one coming up, Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, something, and I think we lost Mr. Cletus.
yeah, he'll be back.
And I wanted to participate in that one, but I won't be in town. I don't know of any others.
Right. Well, while he's gone, let's pay the bills.
All right.
So I'm going to bring up. So one of our sponsors is Talon Talents, www.talontalents.com. I'm gonna throw it up there. Time to pay the bill.
Owner of Talon Talents here, and I just want to say that we are ecstatic to be a major sponsor of Homefront Sit Rep, a community that is ran by veterans and made for veterans. So thank you for tuning in. Talon Talents was formed in order to create a music scene that was together in the form of a collective, so that no one has to do everything on their own. And guess what? We've been doing this for free for over a year. So please go and check out Talon Talents through Facebook or through our official website at www.talontalents.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for tuning in to Homefront Sit Rep, a veteran-owned and operated podcast just for you.
And we're back. So yeah, if you need anything music related, go visit our sponsors at talontalents.com or look them up on Facebook. Welcome back, Cletus.
Hey, sorry about that. Phone
No,
got down to
you're
1%, and I had to change the cable out, and it cut everything out.
Oh man, that's not fun. Not fun at all. No, we just had to pay the bills real quick. I figured I'd take it while while you were redoing what you were doing. So had to pay the bills. So yeah, James was talking about he did the Hillview one for the Toys for Tot. I guess that's the Radcliffe chapter of the Marine Corps League. And they were asking him about the one in E-Town that they got coming up as well. But I think
Usually
James,
I think there's a Hardin County ride, a Bullitt County ride. I think there used to be a Southern Indiana ride too.
okay, yeah, he just did the Bullitt County ride. That's the one that he just did this past weekend. So
Well, they're
Yeah, and
smart because they had it now
yeah,
when it's good weather.
see, I wanted to participate in the Hardin County one as well, and Miss LaDonna, I think it may not be her name. Don't get me in trouble. Anyway, the young lady that runs that, she was like, "Yes, by all means," but I won't be in town, and I don't know of any other any runs.
You can come to ours.
And say again,
You can
you
come
can
to
go
ours.
to the Louisville one.
when is it?
First Sunday
November.
after Thanksgiving.
So first Sunday after Thanksgiving, that
Well,
will
the Sunday
be.
after Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Let's see. Thanksgiving is the 23rd, so it'll be the 26th.
Yeah.
Let me pull my calendar up so I don't get myself. I'm not allowed to do anything without my calendar anymore. I get in trouble.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
have
you're
that
right.
calendar.
Hey, you got to live and die by that son of a bitch. Trust me.
Oh.
All right, November,
That's
26th.
what time, sir?
So 12 to 2 is registration at Greenbelt Highway. 2 o'clock kickstands are up. They roll out, and then they'll drive with escorts and everybody straight across the city of Louisville, side streets and stuff. And then they'll come across Central Avenue. And instead of turning there at Cardinal Stadium, they'll keep going all the way up, cross over Crittenden Drive, and into the fairgrounds parking lot. And then we'll have people on the ground guiding the bikes a certain way so they can do a big circle
Yeah.
and come around. And it's not a big Charlie Foxtrot.
And will you be there that day?
I'll be there. In fact,
All right.
I'm there at the starting point. I usually speak about 10 minutes before they leave, and then I haul back over to the ending site. I don't know if you've ever been to one in the last 12 years, but the whole Stone Cold thing, I'm the guy that says, if you're having a great time, give me a hell yeah.
That's
And I
Cletis.
get a pretty loud hell yeah, too.
Well,
Hell
I can come back into town. That's the day that I was supposed to come back into town. I can actually leave early that morning or the night before. I'll leave that morning, and that'll give me time to get back here. Dave, can you get information from him, how I can contact him or how he can contact me? And sir,
Share
if I
my
have
email
your
address
permission,
with him.
if I have your permission, I'll bring my truck and my trailer. I'll run my flags, my strobe lights,
Sure.
and then I don't have. I think it's awesome.
I'll have a spot for you.
I'll be
We'll
there
head
with
out
you,
here in
James.
just a few minutes, guys. Okay.
James, I'll be there that day with you.
Okay,
so
good.
I might have you just pick me up here at home that day, or I'll meet you somewhere. I don't know. Where are you coming from anyway?
Fort Campbell.
Oh, okay. So you'll be coming up.
I'll be coming Bluegrass all the way to E-Town and then up 65. So if you want to meet me in Shepherdsville,
Yeah, we can do that.
I could pick you up in Shepherdsville. You can roll with me. Then on our way back, I can drop you off.
To the fairgrounds.
Sir?
If you're going to come for our bike ride, just come straight to the fairgrounds.
Right. I was talking about I'm coming in from out of town. I'm coming from Fort Campbell.
Right.
And we were trying to find a place where I could pick Willis up at.
Pick me up that day.
He'll be on 65 with his legs showing.
Yeah,
You know what? I picked him up once before sitting on the side of 65, and he can't sit there and say I haven't.
Yeah, but I was in my own truck though.
That's funny.
But where were you sitting at?
On the side of 65 waiting on you.
Yeah. Enough said. I got you.
Yep.
So we're meeting at the fairground, sir?
Yeah, so if you can come down Crittenden Drive from the Watterson, and you turn right there at Central Avenue, Left will take you to the stadium, but right will turn you, by that Hilton Gardens Inn and all that stuff. Well, you just take that entrance, and that's it. And I'll send you info ahead of time. But you take that entrance in there, and then we're going to be set up behind Broadbent Arena.
Okay.
You
All
can't
right.
miss. We're on
I'll
the
be there.
back side of it, and there'll be people out there to guide you and all that stuff, and I'll be expecting you. And you guys can give me a call that you're 5 minutes out or whatever. As long as you're there by about no later than 2:10, because then we'll shut down things so that the traffic flow once the motorcycles get over there. They've never gotten over there earlier than 2:20, but
Well, I'll get there a little early. It depends on Mr. Willis here, how quick he can get to Shepherdsville, because it's funny. It doesn't matter where I take that trailer. Everybody takes pictures. They get up next to it, takes pictures. They take pictures
Oh
of the
yeah,
trailer. So that's fun for me. That's I get enjoyment out of that. I really do. And there's some education that goes along. People ask, what is Operation Gothic Serpent? Well, down at the bottom, I've got Black Hawk Down. And then I get to tell them about Warrior Round, stuff like that. But yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build. Uh, what's a good word, David? Help me out. I'm dumb. I'm
You're
just
gonna
trying to build up Warrior Rounds here in Kentucky
yeah.
because they're huge in Nashville. So I'm just trying to represent them the best I can here. And the more I take that trailer out, the more people start asking questions, and it's a win-win for everybody.
sure,
So next
absolutely.
year, Cletus, we're trying to bring in Warrior Rounds. We're going to have so we're going to bring in 10 veterans, 10 singer-songwriters for Kentucky, pair them together. We're going to do it out at Active Heroes, get the veterans and the singer-songwriters paired together, let them do
Great
their
idea.
thing, let them do their thing, and then a couple months later, we'll have a debut of the video and the song that the singer-songwriter compiled of the veterans story. So
Okay,
and eventually, hopefully, right now he's an ambassador for Warrior Rounds. Eventually, what we're going to try to do is get Warrior Rounds Kentucky, a Kentucky chapter, eventually, just so we can help spread the word.
it's
Because
the only way you can grow.
yes,
It's getting the word out, talking about it, sharing it with people, and just constantly, you know, telling
And
somebody,
and
"Hey, this is
my
what you're doing."
goal in the next 10 years to see how many states I can have a Warrior Rounds in.
Sure.
That's just to be honest. I want to see how many states that I can put that logo in and have. Uh, because music works. We know it's therapy. There's not an adult walking the face of the earth today
That's
that
right.
music at one point hasn't pulled you out of something. It doesn't matter your ethnicity. It doesn't matter the genre of music. It does
Hmm.
not matter. Music is magic.
yeah,
Yep. Absolutely, guys. And I mean, I'm the first one that'll say that music uh, can calm a soul down. You
oh
know,
yeah,
no matter where you're at. And
yeah,
we did that when we were in Iraq. We come up with this ideal to basically we got the word out to everybody and their mother. If you got a
yeah.
CD or something like that, send it to us. We'll send it back to you. And we ended up making a music server accessible to every outpost around our area of
That's awesome.
operations in Anbar province. And it had over 40,000 songs on it.
Mm,
And it took me almost about 15 hours to download those 40,000 songs on a
holy cow!
external drive, and I've got it backed up twice. So, of course,
Oh
all these
man,
songs are from 2005 and before, so I'm missing 18 years of songs. but you're right. The music, and that besides it helping somebody, it tells a story.
yeah.
They've always said, a good song tells a story. Good, bad, indifferent, it tells somebody's story.
And a lot of
And
folks want to know the story behind the song.
that's right.
So
How
when
did
we
they
did,
come up with that idea?
yeah. So when we did my song, um, of course, there's a video of throughout the day, and then of me and my songwriter Bobby Boyd talking, and then and then him performing my song at the Hard Rock Cafe in Nashville, and they do it for so many people. And basically, that's what's helped me pull my head out of my ass, is because it was such an eye-opening experience for me. It really was. It really was.
Yeah.
I'd wished I'd had it 30 years ago.
There's a lot of things I think we all wish we could have done years ago, and I'm with you on that one. But you know what? It's just like when you hit a golf shot, it's over with. Move on to the next one. Here we are.
It's in the past.
Living our prime life here. And
Yes, sir.
who would have thought, 30 years ago that I said, hey, I'm going to be sitting on this particular night with some guys in a podcast talking about all this cool work that we do.
Yeah.
Because, we did our heyday back in our day in the uniform and stuff. But, man, this is much more rewarding. And the best part about this, James, is nobody's shooting at us.
That is key. That is key.
Guys, I got to go. The lady I'm married to told me I had to go do something. So,
all right, boss man. Well, you have a great night. Tell the missus I said hello. And
nice to meet you, James. I hope
you too, sir.
In person.
Yes, sir.
Always good to see you. I was
yes,
glad
sir.
I get to see you Friday night.
Yes, sir. We will see each other again soon. I promise you that.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right,
take care.
Bye.
Dude,
well, there you go.
I tell you, man, those two gentlemen right there, even though they gave me humble praise, because I don't deserve it, because for me, and those two guys are my role models when it comes to what I do. Those two guys right there, just very, very motivating.
Sure.
That's all I can say about that. Those two guys right there. We talked about the David Rubin with Hero Strong down in Florida, and his personality, how infectious it was. These two guys, Tim and Cletis, man, there's nobody in the city of Louisville that is comparable to what they do. There's a lot of people out there that try to emulate what those two do, but nobody can do it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with those two, that they are the most humblest people you will ever meet. And when they legitimately say, hey, let's make this happen, they mean let's make this happen. And Tim Sanders, I'm telling you right now, when it comes to things with UAW and getting things sponsored, events sponsored, UAW, their president is a veteran. They have the UAW ramp team. That's all veterans. They literally do all kinds of things for veterans throughout the city of Louisville. And Todd Dunn, amazing guy. You'll definitely have to meet him. Eric Foster, who's the chairman of UAW 862's Veterans Committee, super amazing guy. I talked to him earlier today. Super amazing guy.
That is awesome.
When I tell you, I know a lot of people throughout the veteran community. Those two there are probably the most important people that I know when it comes to veteran related things. I pick Cletus's brain all the time and talk to Tim all the time. And it's just amazing just to see how they work and what they do and how humble they are. And I don't care if I'm in the forefront, if I'm helping somebody, I don't care. I like being in the shadow. Unfortunately, with the podcast, I'm not in the shadow because I'm out here talking with all these other veteran service organizations. I'm talking with people like Cletis and Tim and you and everybody else. And I'm bringing you guys out there and getting your story out there and everything that you guys are doing. That's what helps me deal with my flaws, my demons, is doing this.
Right. Yep. And mine. I mean, we can go hours about mine. you
Yeah.
understand why I do what I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you understand why I do what I do. So,
Right. I mean, I feel I have to do it.
yeah.
At this point, I feel like I have to do it. And someone told me the other day that veterans shouldn't be saluting in civilian clothes with the flag, national anthem, all that. And I'm reading right here
No, there's a law that was passed just
that
recently
the new law
where,
took effect October 14th, 2008,
yeah.
which authorized veterans and military personnel in civilian clothes to
Yep.
render the military salute during the raising, lowering, or passing of the flag.
Yep. Anytime the national anthem is played, veterans can salute that flag wearing their hat. Yes.
Yeah. Or we could take the hat off, put it across our heart. Same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I normally take my hat off and I stand in a position of attention.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I do.
that's what I normally do.
But I have been known to salute during taps and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it just depends on the situation and where you're at. If I'm with other veterans and they're saluting, I'll salute. If I'm in a crowd of civilians and they all look at me like I'm crazy or whatnot, then I'll take my hat off and stand in position of
But you know
attention.
what? This is what I see, Dave. I say we earned the damn right to salute that flag when we want to salute that flag.
Yes, sir. Now, I tell
Period.
you
Bottom
what,
line.
I tell you now, if I go to a house and they have an American flag on the corner of the house or the front door of the house, I'll salute that flag when I go by.
I've
And
been known to do that.
and if they have a Marine Corps flag, I'll salute that flag too. Uh, just because that's my branch. I'll salute it, but I will salute the American flag first. So
Absolutely.
that's just, and people look at me like, "Well, why'd you do that?" I'm like, because I fought for that flag. That's like this flag here that's behind me. It's never touched the ground, and it never will touch the ground. Um, when I take it down, if I take it down, it'll be folded properly. I will have myself and somebody else help me do it, fold it properly.
Absolutely.
Because I respect that flag.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
I had somebody here. I'm gonna share this with you. This is something neat that somebody sent me. Uh, this might be something we can maybe possibly do next year.
I saw that the other day.
Yeah, leftover candy. Send it to your heroes. Pack your candy in a USPS flat rate box. Pick a hero at herobox.org. Print shipping label and ship. That's
Yeah.
pretty.
I
That's
saw that
pretty,
the other day.
yeah, that's pretty neat. That's something that we might look into, maybe.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, me as well. All right, Mr. James. It's almost 9 o'clock at night, man.
Mm.
It's been a great show tonight. I want to thank Tim and Cletis for coming on and talking about the Bikes or Bust and talk about Boxes of Love, the Toys for Todd event that's coming up. Um, I'm super excited about what's coming up in Louisville for veterans. It's going to be super busy. You got Mission Barbecue November the 11th, starting at noon. The national anthem will be sung loud and proud by Rick Ames from Louisville Local Entertainment. It's also going to be Sergeant Major Brown's going to be there. I'll be there doing a live. There's also in Shelbyville, serving up Christ with veterans with Shelby Christian Church. They're going to be there. I shared all kinds of veteran events earlier today on my page because there is a buttload of veterans events that are coming. Well, for one, because of Veterans Day.
Yeah.
So right here, let's do this. Let's share my screen. There we go. So you got this one here. Remembering our veterans, Friday, November 10th, which is also the Marine Corps birthday.
I'll be
that
there.
is the USS LST 325 presentation from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. military vehicle show, 12:30 to 2:30 to Bullitt County Public Library. I think you'll be there at that one, right?
I will be. That's going to be right there beside Lowe's on right down from Walmart in Shepherdsville on the right-hand
That,
side.
that new library.
Yeah.
Nice. Then I shared this one here. Veterans Day service, Saturday, November the 11th, 2023, 10 a.m. at the Kentucky Vietnam Veterans Memorial, 395 Vernon Cooper Lane in Frankfort. Presented by Centennials Veterans Club and Charging Forward for America. There's
That's
the
cool.
information there. Then I did this one here. This is a Bluegrass Harley Davidson. Salute to veterans. Thank you for our service, or thank you for your service. Free barbecue starting at 11 a.m. That is in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hey, look, there's our happy Marine.
Yeah.
And Mr. Tim Sanders. Here, check this out. Deleted scene from the Minion movie. You have to listen to this one. Let's see if I can get the sound to play. Come on. Play the sound for me. Here, let's see if I get the sound to play. Where's the
Up in
here
the
it is.
top.
Bueno, Piyu. Luca. Bueno, Piyu. Bueno,
I had to put that
You
one
ain't
on
right, man.
Luca.
I had to
You ain't
put,
right.
Oh man, I had to share that one. I thought it was pretty funny, bro. And then my wife. Tomorrow, I will be on the Misfit Nation show with Mr. Rich LaMonica at 8 p.m. Let's see what else. Oh, Jamie Utley, comedian Jamie Utley, November 30th at the Comedy Caravan, which is a Thursday. If you are a veteran and you go to the front ticket window and say, "Hey, I'm a veteran," Jamie Utley says I can get in free. All veterans get in free, and that's a hell of a lineup. You got Rich Regains, Tom Mabe, Brad Lanning. There's a few others that he said also when he did an update on it. So yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff coming up, man. I tell you what, there are veterans events everywhere around the city of Louisville and the state of Kentucky and nationwide. So definitely check it all out. So, James, you got anything else to say before we let you go, brother?
My camera messed up. I'm all fuzzy now.
Yeah.
No, I ain't got nothing else, brother.
I think it's just your eyeballs. You're fuzzy.
It could be that too.
No, it is your camera. I don't know what's going on with it. It is a little fuzzy there for a second.
Yeah, it got silly. Now it's back to normal.
Yeah, just had to refocus. Just like you do sometimes. You just got to recharge.
I got to do that a lot of times.
Recharge and refocus, my friend. So,
Yeah.
all right, buddy. Well, I want you to have a good night. I'm
You
here
too,
for
brother.
you. If you need anything, reach out to me, brother.
Likewise. Likewise.
I appreciate that, and I know that you mean what you say. So, all right, brother. Well, you have a good night. Let's hit it out. And like I say always, stay safe out there. I got your 6.
Take care.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find Homefront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.